Yo, what's up, guys? We're back with another UFC prediction winner for the UFC fight card. Movsar Evloev against Leroy Murphy in the O2 Arena in London, Paramount Plus. We have a 5-week winning streak. We gotta hope to keep it still going. We hope to make right now an 11-0. So we started with Shanelle Dyer against Ravena Oliveira. We gotta go with decision win by Dyer. She looked amazing in a contender series fight. A little bit more aggression, and she could win the fight easily, especially her striking. She lost it, but I think now her debut, she'll win the fight. Maybe even 30-27. Shamrock against Al-Selwady in the next fight. We gotta go with Shamrock by decision. I was trying to go with a with a finish, especially submission. But Al-Selwady is a good grappler too, so maybe a 20-28 for Shamrock. Now the next on the card is Louie Sutherland against Brando Peričić. We gotta go with Brando Peričić by second round TKO. First round, I believe Sutherland will get exhausted. Both guys will swing their way to a victory by knockout. And the second round, Louie Sutherland will be on the ground, maybe even a knockdown, or maybe even get taken down. And then TKO with Brando Peričić. Antonio Trócoli against Kondratavičius. We gotta go with Kondratavičius by first round knockout. The Lithuanian blondish guy. He looked amazing in his last fights, especially in the contender series fights. 1 minute against the Croatian sensation Johnny Barbier. A very big process from Croatia. They waited on him, and now he got knocked out in the first minute. So Kondratavičius is a problem, and we all know Trócoli can get knocked out, but also can get submitted. And Kondratavičius worked on his grappling, maybe even a submission, but first round though. Now Pinto against Felipe Franco. We got to go with Pinto by first round knockout. He showed he can win against the Brazilians, and he can finish them, like against Jonathan Denise. This was his last opponent. And Felipe Franco had his last two opponents by a combined record from 11-8. And the third fight was a loss in the contender series against Vidal, who is a very bad look on him. And he also get exhausted in the third round. So I believe a third round knockout. Even if I said a first round, no, it's a third round knockout by Pinto. Yeah, the last fight on the prelims, Mason Jones against Axel Sola. We gotta go with Mason Jones by decision, 20-28. And on the first one, maybe Axel Sola can pimp it up, but he will get exhausted. The weight cut, and Mason Jones always put great work in him, and always, keeps the fight going, ground, striking. So yeah, Mason Jones experience, and he's such a great fighter. 20-28. Kurtis Campbell against Danny Silva. We gotta go with Kurtis Campbell by submission in the second round. Danny Silva has a very great chin. He survived Kevin Vallejos. And I believe he's a great fighter, but the ground game will be too much for him against Kurtis Campbell. He will get taken down and submitted. Roman Dolidze against Chris Duncan. We gotta go with Christian Duncan by decision. I believe he will rock Roman Dolidze, but Roman Dolidze will survive it and lose a decision. Ivo Baraniewski against Austen Land. First round knockout by Ivo Baraniewski. Yeah, the co-main event. Luke Riley against Michael Aswell Jr. Luke Riley by... That's a tough one. I believe a third round knockout. I was trying to go with the decision, but maybe the crowd, maybe the co-main event. A little bit of the pressure on the coaches will try to have a finish, Luke Riley has the co-main event instead of Michael Page. This is amazing. How much the UFC wants him to win the fight. So I believe a third round knockout for Luke Riley. Now the main event, Movsar Evloev against Leroy Murphy. We gotta go with Movsar Evloev by decision. I was trying to go with Leroy Murphy, but he got taken down by so many guys, especially by Amir Khani. Against Aaron Pico, it's okay to get taken down, but not against Amir Khani. You should, if you want to fight for the title, and a guy like Amir Khani, who is a great grappler, should not take you down. I don't know, man. Maybe he can rock Evloev, and he has great knees. He knocked out Amir Khani with that, and great elbows. He knocked Aaron Pico with that. He also got knocked down and taken down by Zubair Tukhugov back in the day in Abu Dhabi. So he gets taken down a lot. So I believe a decision win 39-36, 38-37 for Movsar Evloev.